I was brushing my teeth when the phone rang. I glanced at the screen and smiled. Leo. I wiped my hands and picked it up. "A baby," I said, already grinning. "You're calling early. Just wanted to hear your voice before bed," he said, sounding half asleep. "Long day? You okay?" "Yeah. Just tired. I'll see you tomorrow." "Yeah," I said. "I'll bring that thing you asked for." "Perfect. Good night. Love you. Love you too." The line didn't hang up. I started to set the phone down when I heard it. A woman's voice, sharp, irritated. "She's not good enough for you, Leo. We've been over this." I froze. "What exactly do you see in her?" Another voice chimed in. "Tessa, I didn't." "Move." My toothbrush was still in my hand, foamy toothpaste sliding down my wrist. "She's clingy. She tries too hard. I swear, if I hear one more sob story about her broken childhood, Tessa, that's enough." Mrs. Sinclair snapped. "We've tolerated her because she's convenient, but she's not Sinclair material." My chest tightened. My heartbeat pounded in my ears. I wanted to believe I misheard. Then I heard Leo. "She's sensitive," he said. "Brings a lot of emotional baggage." I sat down slowly on the edge of the tub. "She clings to you like you're the air she breathes," Tessa said with a laugh. "It's embarrassing." "I told her we'd get married next spring," Leo said quietly. There was silence for a moment. Then his mother spoke again, calm and cold. "You'll marry her, get it over with, then keep her in her place." "But if you think she'll ever be family think again?" I waited. Waited for him to say something, anything. He didn't. Not one word, not one breath of protest. Just silence. "She's not one of us," Mrs. Sinclair said. "She never will be." "I know," Leo said. "I think that's when I stopped breathing." "You should have picked Hannah," Tessa muttered. "At least she knew how to act in public." I bit my lip so hard I tasted blood. "She's trying," Leo said. "I think she's weak." His mother hissed. "She bends when she should stand. That's not strength, it's desperation." And still he said nothing. They kept going, mocking my clothes, my voice, my background, even the way I poured wine at dinner. And Leo just sat there. Maybe he was nodding. Maybe he was smiling. I wouldn't know. All I had was the sound of silence where his voice should have been. I wanted to throw the phone across the room, but I didn't. I just listened. I let their words stab me over and over until I was numb. "She's lucky we even let her in the house," Mrs. Sinclair added. "I don't want to do this right now," Leo said finally. "Then end the call," Tessa snapped. The line went dead. I stared at the screen. Call ended. That's when I realized I wasn't crying. Not yet. I stood up slowly and looked at myself in the mirror. There was toothpaste on my chin. My eyes looked hollow. I whispered. "You heard all that, and you said nothing." My hands were shaking. I walked to the kitchen and poured a glass of water. My throat was tight. I sipped slowly, but it didn't help. Was this a joke? A test? Maybe. They didn't mean it. No, they meant every word. And Leo let them. The man I planned to marry. The man who held me while I cried. The man who asked me to spend forever with him. He let them humiliate me, and he didn't fight back. I sank to the floor with the glass still in my hand. "I defended you every time someone questioned us," I whispered. "And you let them tear me apart. I didn't sleep that night." I lay in bed with the covers pulled over me like a shield, but the words echoed over and over in my head. "She's not one of us. She clings to you. She's weak." I thought I knew who Leo was, but silence says everything. And that night, his silence broke me more than any words ever could. "Morning," Leo said, stepping into my kitchen like he hadn't destroyed me the night before. "Hey," I replied, my voice steadier than I expected. He kissed my cheek. "Brought croissants, your favorite." I forced a smile. "You remembered?" "Of course I did," he said, sitting at the counter. "So, I was thinking, brunch with my parents this weekend. Brunch with the people who laughed behind my back and called me a burden. That sounds nice, I said, slicing into the croissant like it was made of glass. You okay? He asked. You seem quiet. I didn't sleep well. He nodded and grabbed his coffee. You want to do something after work? We could watch that movie you like. You mean the one you said was too emotional last time? He paused. I didn't mean it like that. Sure, I said, brushing crumbs from the counter. I'd love that. He didn't look up. His phone buzzed and he typed quickly. I watched him, watched how he avoided my eyes. You know, I said, your mom was really sweet last dinner. He blinked. Yeah, and your sister, so charming. It made me feel like I really belonged. He finally looked up. Really? Held his gaze. Yeah, I mean, how lucky am I to marry into such a warm, welcoming family? He hesitated, then looked down again. They single quotes complicated. I sipped my coffee. But you love them. They're my family, he said, shrugging. And what? You're the woman I'm marrying. That doesn't answer my question. His jaw tightened. Why are you being weird? I'm not, I said. Just wondering where I stand. You're overthinking, maybe. He leaned forward. Are we good? I looked at him, really looked. The boy I met 3 years ago. The one who held my hand during my mom's funeral. The one who stayed up all night when I had panic attacks. Now he couldn't even hold my gaze when I brought up his family. We're good, I lied. He smiled. Good, because I was thinking, we should visit that vineyard next month. The one you mentioned. You listened. Of course. Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't you? Maybe because you listened to your mother call me weak and pathetic and said nothing. Vineyard sounds perfect, I said. Maybe we could invite your mom. He froze. Kidding, I added quickly, lest you think she'd want to come. He stood up and walked to the sink. Why are you bringing her up so much? I shrugged. She's going to be my mother-in-law. Don't force something that's not natural. I said, watching his back. I'll stop trying. He turned, confused. I didn't mean no, it's fine. He walked over, reached for my hand. Arya, what's going on? I pulled away. Nothing. You've been acting strange since yesterday. Just tired. He studied me for a long time. If something's wrong, talk to me. I laughed under my breath. You want me to talk now? What's that supposed to mean? I shook my head. Forget it. Arya. I turned away, opened the fridge, stared into it like it held the answers. I'm just trying to understand, he said. I know. Then help me out. I can't help someone who refuses to see. What am I not seeing? I shut the fridge. Everything. He sighed, rubbing his temples. Can we just start over? Start over? Like this was a game. Sure, I said, walking past him. Let's pretend none of it happened. He followed. None of what happened. I looked at him and said nothing. And he stood there, waiting for me to speak, to explain what he didn't have the courage to ask. That was the moment I knew. He hadn't just chosen them. He'd chosen not to choose me. Silence isn't always fear. Sometimes it's betrayal wearing a polite face. Smile, darling, Leo whispered as we stood on the porch. They're in a good mood tonight. I bet they are, I muttered. What? Nothing. The door swung open before he could ask again. Arya. Sinclair's voice was sharp and bright, like fake gold. You look beautiful. Thank you, I said. You do too. She leaned in, air-kissed my cheek. That dress is so humble. I like it. I forced a smile. Glad it meets the standard. Tessa appeared. Behind her, you're still going to Bali, right? For the honeymoon. Leo answered before I could. That's the plan. I'd avoid the East Coast, she said, flicking her hair. Tourists and trash everywhere. I opened my mouth, then shut it. You all right? Leo asked, brushing his hand against mine. I'm great, I said flatly. Let's eat. Dinner was already set. Too perfectly. Candlelight, silver cutlery, crystal glasses. Daniel's joining us tonight, Mrs. Sinclair announced as we sat. He's been so busy with med school, we barely see him. A tall guy entered from the hallway. He nodded politely. Hi, I said. He met my eyes. Hi, I've heard a lot about you. Hopefully not everything, I said. Trying to laugh, his smile didn't reach his eyes. Tessa poured wine for herself, skipped me. I grabbed the bottle and did it myself. So, Mrs. Sinclair said, You keeping your name after the wedding, are ya? I looked at Leo. He looked at his plate. I hadn't decided, I said. Well, Sinclair carries weight. Just something to consider. Sure, I said. I'll consider giving up the last thing my father gave me. She blinked. I didn't mean you never do. Silence. Tessa stabbed her asparagus. So dramatic. Daniel cleared his throat. The wine's good. Is it? I asked. I can barely taste anything. Are ya? Leo whispered. Not now. Why? Not now. I whispered back. Timing's perfect. It gave me a warning look. I stood up. Excuse me for a moment. No one stopped me in the bathroom. I locked the door and stared at my reflection. My lipstick was cracked. My eyes were glassy. I looked like someone pretending to be whole. I ran the water. Let it run was the only sound that made sense. I wanted to scream. I wanted to leave. I wanted Leo to barge in and ask if I was okay. He didn't. When I came back, Daniel looked at me first. Not Leo, not his mother. You good? Daniel asked softly. I nodded. Mrs. Sinclair smiled. We were just talking about flower arrangements. Have you chosen yours? Peonies, I said, taking my seat. They're delicate but stubborn. Thought you liked tulips, Leo said. Apparently, I like a lot of things I don't, I muttered. Excuse me? Nothing. The rest of dinner passed like a slow car crash. Smiles too wide. Too cold. Words too sharp. When we stood to leave. Mrs. Sinclair hugged Leo tightly. She barely touched me. Daniel pulled me aside by the door. You deserve better than this. I looked at him. Then what? It's performance. I blinked. Thanks. But I'm used to it. You shouldn't have to be. Leo called from the car. You ready? I nodded at Daniel. Thanks for saying something. Kay nodded back. Some of us notice more than we say. I slid into the passenger seat. Did you have to act like that? Leo asked once we pulled away. Like what? You were cold? I stared out the window. Your mom was kind enough to remind me who I am. She didn't mean she did, and so did your sister. And you let them. He didn't answer. That's the difference between you and me, I said. I used to think silence meant peace. But now I know. Know what? It means picking a side without having to say it. He drove the rest of the way without speaking, and I sat there knowing exactly who he'd already chosen. Not me, never me. Sit down, I said. Leo blinked. What's going on? Just sit. He hesitated, then lowered himself onto the couch. I stayed standing. I need to ask you something, and I want you to answer honestly. He nodded slowly. Okay, why didn't you defend me? His brows furrowed. What? At dinner? On the phone? Every time your family tore me apart. Why didn't you say anything? He opened his mouth, closed it, opened it again. I didn't know what to say. You didn't have to say something perfect, Leo. You just had to say something. I didn't want to start a fight. I let out a short, bitter laugh. A fight. They mocked me like I wasn't even human. It wasn't like that. I heard everything. His body froze. I was on the call, Leo. After you said goodnight, you didn't hang up. I heard it all. His lips parted, but no words came out. Your mom called me beneath you. Your sister said I was pathetic. And you sat there quiet while they shredded me. He looked down. I didn't know you heard that. That's your response? It's complicated. No, I snapped. It's not you had one job. It's just one. To stand up for me. It wasn't the right moment. They were attacking the woman you're supposed to marry. When is the right moment? He stood up, hands shaking. Didn't want to lose them. And you were okay with losing me? Silence. Wow, I muttered. That's all I needed to hear. I didn't mean it like that. Yes, you did. I grabbed my keys off the table. Wait, where are you going? Ow, can we just talk about this? We are talking about it. You're just not hearing me. He followed me to the door. Arya, please. They didn't mean all of it. They meant every word. And you let them. He reached for my arm. Don't walk away like this. Let go of me. He dropped his hand. I gave you everything. Leo, I told you things I've never said out loud. And you handed me to the wolves. I was trying to keep the peace. Peace doesn't mean silence while someone bleeds. His voice cracked. You think I don't feel guilty? Don't care if you do. It's too late. So that's it. You're just leaving. I stared at him. You made your choice the moment you stayed silent. I love you. No, I said. You love the idea of me. The quiet girl who doesn't rock the boat. The one who fits into your world without making noise. That's not true. It is. And I'm done pretending it isn't. His eyes were glassy now. We were planning a life together. Yeah, I whispered. And I was stupid enough to believe it was real. I wanted forever with you. Then you should have acted like it. He slumped back against the wall. I was scared. So was I. But I still showed up. For you, I opened the door. He didn't stop me this time. Arya, I turned just once. Did any of it matter to you? He asked. All of it, I said, which is why it hurts this much. Then I walked out. I didn't slam the door. I didn't scream. I just walked. Outside, the air felt colder than it should have been. I didn't cry, not even when I sat in my car staring at the wheel. I just sat there, listening to the silence. I used to love that silence with him. It used to feel safe. Now it was just empty. I drove without thinking. Ended up in the parking lot near the lake, the same place we had our first kiss. I looked out at the water and waited for the ache to settle. It didn't, but I didn't break either. Later that night, I lay on my bed staring at the ceiling. No tears, no texts. Just stillness. I thought love was unbreakable, but it turns. Out, all it takes is silence in the moment you need someone most. And I would never forget that. I hit post and stared at the screen. The wedding is officially canceled. Wishing everyone peace moving forward. No names. No drama. Just the truth. 5 minutes later, my phone exploded. First came the comments. Wait, what? Is this a joke? I thought you two were perfect. Then the texts. Leo, Arya, what the hell is this? Tessa, you're seriously doing this on social media. Says Sinclair, call me now. I turned the phone face down. A minute later, it rang. Mrs. Sinclair, I didn't answer. The voicemail started immediately. Arya, this is absolutely immature. A public announcement before even speaking to us. Dramatic and classless. I expected better even from you. Then came Tessa's text. 3 paragraphs. I didn't read past the first line. You just humiliated our entire family. Good. I hoped it stung. The doorbell rang 10 minutes later. Leo, Arya, he called through the door. Open up. Need to talk. I stayed quiet. I'm serious. You can't just post something like that and ignore me. I leaned against the wall, listening. You don't even want to talk about it. Nothing. He sighed. So this is it. Still? Nothing. He stood there for a while. I could hear him pacing. You didn't even give me a chance. I almost laughed. A chance. Like the one he didn't give me when his mother called me worthless. Eventually, I heard footsteps fading, then silence. I picked up my phone again. 20 new notifications. I ignored them all. A message from Daniel popped up. That was bold. Proud of you. I smiled. Then another call. Unknown number. I declined it. Then a text. This is from the office of Sinclair & Co. We advise you to remove the post immediately to avoid potential consequences to our firm's public image. I took a screenshot, then posted a news story. When protecting your brand matters more than protecting your people, you've already lost another buzz. Leo again. You're making this worse than it has to be. I typed slowly. No, I'm just making it loud enough to be heard. Then I blocked him. For once, they couldn't talk over me. Twist the truth. Paint. Me as the unstable one. For once, I set the tone. And the silence that followed, it wasn't empty. It was power. They couldn't reach me, and that's when I finally felt free. I'll always protect you, he said, fingers tracing mine, no matter what. I remembered that night clearly sitting under the old willow tree near campus, his jacket draped over my shoulders. I'd just told him about my mother walking out when I was 10. He didn't flinch, held my hand tighter and whispered, "Anyone who hurts you answers to me." I believed him. I don't do promises, I told him. I do, he said. I'll keep them. I smiled like an idiot back then. He made me feel like I mattered, but that version of him didn't exist anymore. And maybe he never did. I stood in the self-help aisle of a bookstore, pretending to read spines I couldn't focus on. A quiet voice interrupted me. "Aria, I turned Daniel didn't expect to see you here." He said, "Yeah, well, figured I'd try reading about healing instead of pretending I'm already fine." He nodded. "You don't have to pretend." "I know, but it's easier." He hesitated. "I'm sorry for everything." "You didn't do anything." "I didn't stop it either." I closed the book in my hands. "That makes two of us." "You didn't deserve any of it," he said. "The way they spoke about you, it was cruel." "And Leo," he sighed. He froze. He always freezes when it matters. "Yeah." I noticed Daniel looked away. "I hope you know you weren't the problem." I laughed softly. I wasn't perfect. But I wasn't disposable either. There was a pause. "I meant it," he said. "You deserved better." I stared at him. "That's kind of you, but I'm not ready for kind." He nodded slowly. "Got it. I thought he was different," I whispered. "You weren't wrong to hope that. Hope was my first mistake." Daniel gave me a small smile. Not hope. Trust. I didn't answer. Just stood there staring at a book titled Letting Go Without Closure. How do you let go of someone you made room for in your future? I asked quietly. He didn't speak right away. "You fill that room with yourself?" I blinked. "That's poetic," I said. "It's borrowed," he said, "from my therapist." That actually made me laugh. For a second, I thought about how easy it would be to fall again, into someone gentler, someone who saw me. But the pieces weren't ready. "I should go," I said. Daniel stepped back. "Take care of yourself, Aria. You too." I walked out with empty hands. No book. No answers, just memories I didn't ask to remember. Leo holding my face like, I was fragile glass, his voice telling me I was safe. His silence telling me I never really was. "Wait, you're moving?" Jen asked, eyes wide. "Yeah," I said, sipping my coffee. "New job, new city, new everything. You didn't tell me it was this serious. I needed it to be." She leaned back. "Is this a revenge arc or a rebirth arc?" I smiled. "Depends on who's watching." Truth was, it felt like both. Therapy helped. So did distance. "Do you miss him?" Jen asked. "No," I said. "I miss who I thought he was, but that guy doesn't exist." Her phone buzzed. She checked it, blinked, and held it out. "You need to see this." The headline read, "Sinclair & Co. faces major client loss after engagement fallout." My stomach tightened. But I didn't flinch. "Wow," I said. "That's your ex's firm, right?" Apparently, investors didn't love the leaked audio clip. I blinked. "What clip?" She smirked. "The one someone anonymously emailed to the press." My eyebrows lifted. "I didn't send anything. I didn't say you did." I stared at the screen. Leo's face looked paler than I remembered. "How poetic," I murmured. Jen tilted her head. "You okay?" "Yeah," I really am. Later. That night, I got a message from Kyle Leo's old coworker. Thought you'd want to know. Tessa just lost her brand deal with Lookswear. Sponsors are dropping like flies. I didn't respond. He followed up. Word is, her little rant on the call didn't age well. I turned my phone off. I didn't need the updates. But they kept coming. Mrs. Sinclair's charity gala got canceled. Donors backed out. She posted a vague rant about online mobs and disrespectful girls with no class. I didn't reply. I didn't even react. I just watched. Watched as silence came full circle. I walked through my new office lobby the next morning, heels clicking like punctuation. Ms. Lane, the receptionist, smiled. Your 10 o'clock is waiting. Thanks, I said. New city. New people. No ghosts. Jen called during lunch. You seeing all this? She asked. I'm not looking, liar. I smiled. Okay, maybe a little. You really didn't send that recording? No, I said. I'm glad someone did. Feels like closure, huh? No, I said. It feels like justice. Quiet, slow, earned justice. I hung up and walked outside, letting the sun hit my face. My phone buzzed again. Leo, I didn't answer. Another buzz? Voicemail. I deleted it. Before it finished downloading, there was nothing left to say. Not anymore. Not, and karma was already speaking for me. Hey, I know I'm the last person you want to hear from, but I'm sorry for everything. I should have spoken up. I should have protected you. I didn't, and now I've lost you. And I see it. I really see it. If you'd ever want to talk just talk-eyed like that, I'd like to explain. One miss. I hope you're okay. I read it once, then again. Came. My again. My thumb hovered over the reply button. I could say, too late. I could say, where was this when it mattered? But I didn't. Are you going to answer it? Jen asked. No, not even to tell him off. What would that change? She leaned back on my couch. Feels like he wants you to give him peace. Exactly. You're not tempted? It's not even a little. I shook my head. Was for about 5 seconds. But that's just old muscle memory. Jen raised an eyebrow. You're sure? Yeah, I said. I think closure's just a dressed up word for permission to hurt me again. Damn. I looked down at my phone. The message still sat there open, waiting. He chose them, I said. He chose comfort. Silence, and I needed more than that. I was more than that. You still are. I stared at his words one last time. He said he was sorry. But not once did he say, you didn't deserve what they did. Not once did he say, I was wrong. Just regret, not accountability. Jen watched me as I exhaled. Done? She asked. I nodded. Done. I tapped, held, deleted. No drama. No last word, just space. Feel anything. Lighter, I said. Like I shut a window that's been letting cold air in for months. You really aren't going back. There's nothing to go back to. She smiled, proud of you. I looked out the window. The city lights blinked like they were winking at me. Somewhere out there he was probably waiting for a reply. He wouldn't get one. Some people don't deserve an ending. Not when they abandon the middle. Asterisk, you painted the kitchen pink, Jen asked, dropping her bag on the counter. Blush, I corrected. It's called blush bloom. Thank you very much. She laughed. Of course it is. And the couch. Terracotta. I wanted warmth. Looks good. Very you. Yeah, I said, tracing my fingers over the throw pillow. For once, it really is. She tilted her head. You seem different. I am lighter. Freer, I said, like I'm not holding my breath anymore. She glanced around. You live alone now. Doesn't it ever get lonely? I smiled. No, not anymore. But the silence. I poured us both coffee and sat. The silence is the best part. She watched me. Oh, that's new. Back then, it used to scream at me, I said. Now it just holds me. Jen nodded slowly. That's beautiful. It's true. She sipped her coffee and Leo gone, I said. Not just from my life, from my head. More dreams? No more pretending, I said. He doesn't get space in here anymore. Jen exhaled. Really proud of you, Arya. Thanks, I said, meaning it. I'm proud of me too. She grinned. So what's next? Whatever I want, I said. I don't need anyone's permission. I love this version of you, she said. I love her too. Later. After she left, I curled up on the couch and stared out the window. My coffee had gone cold, but I didn't care. There was no noise, no chaos, just me. And for the first time in a long time, that was enough.